Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of IBI On Site. We bring you up close and personal to some of the tribe's top prospects throughout the minor league system. I'm Jake Duncan, minor league content coordinator for Indians Baseball Insider, and we're here in Eastlake, Ohio on a beautiful evening for baseball, where the captains are preparing to take on the Dayton Dragons. Now, the captains come into this season under first-year manager Tony Mann, who has really taken this talent and made the most of it, as they currently sit in first place in their division. Now, this is thanks in part to guys such as last year's fourth-round pick Tyler Krieger, who is batting over 300 in his first season of pro ball, as well as pitchers such as Thomas Pannone at the top of the rotation, and Matt Whitehouse shutting things down at the back of the bullpen. We'll be talking to some of these guys, as well as Mann, and get their thoughts on the team's success thus far, and their expectations moving forward through the rest of the season. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get going. All right, here now with Lake County Captains manager Tony Mann. Now, Tony, just first of all, first-time manager, you've got a couple months under your belt at the helm. Just what have you taken away personally from this experience?
I guess the thing that stands out mostly is how good of a group we got. The kids are awesome. They work really hard. For doing this for the first time, certainly feel very fortunate with the roster and the type of kid that we have right now.
And you got an interesting group, and we were talking to Tyler Krieger about this, how your team is kind of composed of mostly the athletic and speedy type guys. You don't really have that big power threat like most teams have in the middle of their lineup. Just what have you taken from this group, and how it's comprised, and how you had to utilize it to manufacture runs? Have you changed your approach, and certainly from teams you've worked with in the past?
I think first of all, right now guys aren't hitting home runs. But we've hit quite a few doubles, which I think as players develop and mature turns into home runs. It's right now you look at an A-ball player, it's hard to say that they don't hit home runs or they're not power threats. There are some. They're not quite there yet, but they will, and you'll actually see some of it here as the summer goes on. In terms of what we have, I guess you can probably say we're pretty similar to a team like the Kansas City Royals last year, who won the World Series. It's a fun brand of baseball. You got to stay aggressive. You got to be willing to make mistakes on the bases, which we are, because at the very end it's gonna pay off for you when it's all said and done. So yeah, it's a great brand. We like it. We are what we are. But I definitely don't think you can sell us short and say we don't have any power. I think we do, and I think it'll certainly show up here in other forms than just doubles as the season goes on.
That's what I was going to say, how the Kansas City Royals had so much success kind of being that throwback team, getting guys on base, wreaking havoc on the bases, whereas not necessarily hitting so many home runs like teams back in the 90s or whatnot. But you got kind of a throwback brand, so it seems like the game's kind of morphing back toward that a little bit. Less so much the power, more so the speedster guys, and I think that's just some kind of going back, but you're also kind of ahead of the curve in that way. I want to talk to you about some of the guys in particular, like Tyler Krieger, first season in pro ball, coming off of that shoulder injury, and he's looked fantastic so far, batting over 300, stealing some bases, playing a couple different positions, shortstop and second. What are your impressions of him?
Good player, very good player. Certainly an accomplished kid out of Clemson University, pretty high-profile program. Has done a great job thus far. Great debut. He didn't really get a chance to debut last year. Has done a great job at second base for us. Certainly a guy we like a lot, and there's no doubt the future is bright for the kid.
And then you also got some things going on the pitching side. You got some guys in the rotation like Thomas Pannone at the top doing some good things. And then in the bullpen, you got Matt Whitehouse shutting it down. Just talk about what the team has done on the mound, your pitching staff has done, both in the rotation and the bullpen.
Thomas TP's done a great job. Obviously, we are fortunate as a staff to have him here. He was here last year, and did a good job, and certainly earned the opportunity to pitch at a higher level. Unfortunately, the numbers game kind of sent him back here, so we're happy to have him. We wish sooner than later, he'll get an opportunity to pitch at a higher level, but there's a lot out of everybody's control for that to happen. But certainly very capable of doing that. Mr. Whitehouse, same type of deal. Guy came off 2 years not pitching. Older guy, has really opened up a lot of eyes and done a really good job. I guess we didn't really know what we had because he hadn't pitched much as a professional. So he's done a great job as a unit. Pitching staff has done a great job. I mean, there's a lot of guys that came in here where we weren't quite sure what we had, and they're getting opportunities, they're taking advantage of it, and at times have really carried the club and really done a nice job getting themselves on the map.
And then last question, you guys are in first place right now. What do you see from this team moving forward rest of the season?
Hopefully a lot of the same. I think as it gets warm here and the wind stops blowing in, you'll see some balls go over fences a little bit more. You'll continue to see the defense improve. You'll continue to see the offense improve. You'll see the pitching continue to improve. The base running will keep being aggressive. We'll have nights where we look terrible. We'll make a lot of mistakes, but that's given and that's okay as long as we learn from them.
All right, well, Tony Mansolito, thank you for joining us. Wish you all the best.
Great, thank you. Yep.
Coming up, we'll get some player insight from Captain Second Baseman Tyler Krieger, as well as relief pitcher Matt Whitehouse. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jake Duncan.
And I'm Corey Crisson.
And this is the Farm Report Podcast.
Tune in each week for updates and analysis on all the levels of the Indian system. From Honing Valley to Lynchburg to Columbus, the Farm Report Podcast is the place to be.
We'll provide you with an insider's perspective on all the top prospects. Plus, our live remote sessions will bring you even closer to the system with exclusive interviews with players and coaches.
The Farm Report Podcast, brought to you by Indians Baseball Insider and broadcasted on the Smoke Signals Podcast Network.
Here right now with Captain's infielder Tyler Krieger. Tyler, thanks for joining us here today. And just wanted to talk to you first of all about your season overall. I mean, it's first pro season coming off of a injury and playing pretty well, batting over 300, getting some stuff done with the stolen base department. Just talk about your season overall and what your impressions are of pro ball.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been a good start. Individually and as a team, it's been fun. We're winning a lot of games. The guys have been great. It's been great to meet everybody. The coaches and everybody in the organization has treated me great, and it's been a fun start.
Let's talk about the injury that kind of sidelined you. You played. It was a shoulder injury you kind of played through last year heading into the draft, right? And so talk about your recovery from that and how it kind of changed your perspective at all. Has it changed your work ethic? What do you take away from that?
Yeah, no, I got hurt at my sophomore year at Clemson. I hurt my shoulder and ended up getting surgery that summer. And then last year, DH in most of the season, my junior season at Clemson. And then when I went to get my physical in Cleveland, we ended up making the decision to go straight to Arizona to get a little stronger and get a little more range of motion in my shoulder. And then I think it really has paid off. There's still a long ways to go in terms of just strength and everything, but it's getting so much better. And I think it's taught me a lot about how to be patient and how to really appreciate the game a little bit more.
So talk about what this team's composition is. I mean, a lot of the teams throughout the farm system, they have their speedsters at the top and bottom of the lineup, but then they have their power guys in the middle of the lineup. You guys are basically kind of the speedy, kind of athletic team all the way 1 through 9. And, you're yourself is one of the team leaders in stolen bases behind Lucas. Just talk about what it means to play on a team in a lineup that really doesn't really have that kind of power component, and you have to really work harder to manufacture runs.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a pretty unique lineup in terms of, you have some power in Miller and Mejia and Winfrey. I mean, we have some pop, but at the same time, it's a lot of, we have some switch hitters, 4 switch hitters, I think. We got, a lot of speed. It's very versatile. It can move a lot of guys around, a lot of different pieces. So it's kind of tough putting pressure on the defense, when we put balls in play, knowing that most guys can steal bases when they get on and most guys can score from second on a single is a pretty unique situation to have. So it's a cool team to be a part of with just the speed and then a little bit of power too.
Have you found you had to change your approach personally batting in a lineup like this? You're kind of fitting that same mold. Have you had to make any significant changes to your game?
No, not really. I probably, I have my approach, and I know what I got to do, I think, to be consistent. So I got to just kind of stay within myself, no matter if I'm batting, lead off, third, or down in the order, wherever they put me. You just got to stay within yourself, trust your approach, trust your plan, and know that at the end of the day, it's going to come through.
Now you're a shortstop by trade, right? But you got a guy like Willie Castro here who's playing short mostly. You're playing second base, moving around a little bit, just increasing that versatility. I mean, that's something that this game in the major leagues is becoming more and more a thing with guys like Josh Harrison, Ben Zobrist, Brock Holt. Adding that versatility, is that something that you maybe coming here has kind of forced you into, or is that something you've always looked to improve?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's always good to be versatile, and I'm willing to play wherever the Indians want to put me, and I just am thankful for this opportunity, and it's been fun, little transition over to second base. The angles are a little bit different, but I'm learning every single day, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit better every single day, and it's been fun to watch Willie. You can learn from guys all around you. Willie's got great hands, great feet. I try to emulate what he's doing all the time, whether or not he knows that or not, but it's been fun, and being versatile, can never really hurt.
And how about talk about your manager, Tony Mansolino, because in addition to you breaking into the pro ball, he's breaking into the managing side of things for the first time. How has that transition been like, kind of working with a first-time manager?
It's been awesome. The whole coaching staff has been really great so far, and Manzo has a great feel for the game. He's taught me a lot right out of the gate, just in terms of defense and some approach to hitting and just overall base run. I mean, these guys all know, they've been around the game, they've grown up in the game, and it's been great to learn from everybody, especially Manzo. Man, he's done a great job, and the demeanor that he has, the way he treats people, it's about more than baseball too a little bit. He's taught us about life, and that's an important part of this game.
And finally, since now that you're kind of getting your feet wet in professional baseball, what kind of goals are you setting for yourself?
Oh man, you just want to continue to get better every single day, and that's the ultimate goal, is just to one day become a big leaguer. I mean, that's what everybody here's working towards. But at the same time, I think if you just focus on day by day, getting better, sticking to your approach, understanding that it's a long season, you're going to go through ups and downs, and being mentally tough. I think that's kind of more the goals that you got to focus on. You can't really get worried about the things down the road. I think all those are just kind of a byproduct of having a good process and understanding what you got to do day in and day out to get better.
All right, well, Tyler Krieger, it's been a pleasure having you, and we wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right, joined now by captain's reliever Matt Whitehouse. Now, Matt, you've had kind of an interesting journey the last couple of years. You had Tommy John surgery back in 2014, had to work your way back from that. This year, you're pitching just lights out of the bullpen. Just how does it feel just to get back out on the mound after a major surgery like that?
It's great. I mean, you're in Arizona for a year and a half rehabbing, and you're watching all the other guys do what you want to do, so it's just fun to be back out and with the team again and that camaraderie and all that. It's great.
And how does it feel to be pitching so well after such a major thing like that, and to be able to put up numbers like you have and pitch us so effectively? How's that been for you?
I've been real happy with it. It's been nice. You don't know what to expect coming back from a surgery like that. I know the Indians organization didn't know what to expect. So it was something that I was looking forward to getting back out and seeing what I had left in the tank, and it's really turned out well.
And so far, the strikeout numbers have been up for you so far. Is that something that you didn't really expect, or something you've been working on? What do you attribute to that?
Well, definitely coming back from Tommy John surgery, you want to work on your command and getting your secondary pitches back. And thankfully, it's all come back pretty quickly for me, and the location has been there for the most part. So, it's always fun to strike guys out, so you're always going for that.
And talk about this team as a whole. You guys are in first place. You got a great pitching staff, some good pitchers in the rotation, got some decent guys around you in the bullpen. And then, the lineup, you guys are scoring runs, even though you're not necessarily hitting them out of the park. You're manufacturing runs on the bases. Just what does it mean to be a part of a group like this?
It's a great atmosphere. From the coaching staff all the way down, it's just a bunch of good guys. And when you have guys like that, it makes it easy. It makes it fun. You want to show up to the ballpark. You want to work hard, and you want to pick your teammates up because they're going to pick you up. And it's a good atmosphere, and all these guys are just good guys. So it makes it a good, enjoyable time for everybody.
And just talk about what your goals are moving forward now. You're back on the mound. You recovered from Tommy John surgery. You've been able to put that behind you. Just what are your goals and expectations now moving forward?
Just to get better every day. Come out, work hard, and just build off of each day. And if you can get 1% better every day, it'll translate on the field. There might be those rough days, but as long as you work through it, it's it's a great life. You can't complain about coming out here and playing baseball.
All right. Well, Matt Whitehouse, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Still to come, we'll talk to Captain's beat writer Tyler Stotsky and get his thoughts on the team's success so far this season. Hey guys, Jake Duncan here, just wanted to give a quick plug to our senior contributors' Twitter accounts. We appreciate your feedback, and social media is the best way to get in touch with us, so give us a follow. Now, back to the show. Alright, I'm here now with the Lake County Captain's beat writer for Indians Baseball Insider, Tyler Stotsky. Tyler, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Welcome to Lake County.
Yeah, now we were just talking to some Tony Mansolino and some of the players about this group of guys. They're in first place right now. They're playing well. They got good pitching. They got some guys who can hit, even though they're not necessarily hitting home runs. I think that's the biggest thing that stood out to me about this team is they're not a team that's going to have a ton of power, but they're going to still be able to score runs. What are your impressions of this team as someone who's watched them all year?
Like you said, this is a good team, and they're doing it with a lot of guys that aren't necessarily high-level prospects. Like last year you had so many different hitting prospects, pitching prospects. This team is a lot of guys under the radar, and they're able to come out every day and play. Any day, they're obviously winning, but any day it's somebody new. It's whether it's Tom, Mejia, Lucas, Krieger, Castro. Anybody can go out there and do what they're supposed to and help this team win. Yeah, they don't have the power numbers, but they'll go out, they'll hit singles, doubles, triples, steal bases, bunts. They do it all, and they do it well.
And this group is managed by first-time manager Tony Mansolino, as we mentioned. As someone who's, as a beat writer, you get to deal with him a lot. Just what are your impressions of how he's done in his first year at the helm?
He's done a great job. He's been great to work with so far. He's very knowledgeable, and he definitely shows that when he's talking to us after the game. And he's very, and I learned this at the hot stove, he's very detail-oriented, and those are things that he portrays to us through the players. So if somebody's having a bad game or a bad stretch, he can tell us exactly why. But it seems like he has a team behind him, they're winning, and that's a big help for him to succeed at the minor league level.
Yeah, and you were talking about the hot stove dinner. I was there too. Got to see him give his kind of commencement speech as a manager, and very impressive to talk how detail-oriented he was, like you said. But I want to talk now about some of the players. Some of the guys we talked to Tyler Krieger, first year in pro ball, coming off that shoulder injury, and he's playing very well, batting over 300, stealing bases. What have you seen from him, and what do you think kind of potential he has?
He's done a great job, especially coming out off an injury, not debuting last year. Opening night here was his first game, and he came in the first 3 weeks, and even up to now, he's hitting under 300. But he comes out here every day, he plays hard. Him and Castro in the middle of the infield, it's going to be a fantastic duo to watch going up. But he's definitely got potential to be a middle infield guy for this team and this organization in the future.
And moving on to the pitching staff, you got some guys in the rotation who are pitching well, some guys in the bullpen. Start at the top of the rotation, Thomas Pannone, and how well he's pitched this year. I mean, he had a start the other night, was pretty good, 5 innings, pitched pretty well. He's got some strikeouts, and we talked to him, and he's just talking about how, second year back in Lake County, and he's just working on getting better every day. Just what are your impressions of him and the rest of that rotation?
He's definitely shown to be the ace this year, and as the year went on last year, he got better and better and better, and then he came out this year, did the same thing. Like you said, 5 innings, 1 run on Tuesday. I think it was a home run was his only blemish, but he goes out there, pounds the strike zone. He's not a big walk guy.
Yeah.
I think his season high this far was 3, and that was Tuesday. But he goes out there, pounds the strike zone, and throws pitches. Like you said, strikeouts. He can strike them out. He can pitch to contact. He's somebody who I wouldn't be surprised if he's in Lynchburg, maybe at the All-Star break this year.
And moving on to the bullpen, the guy has been absolutely lights out is Matt Whitehouse. Now he's coming off of Tommy John surgery. Had it in 2014, spent the last couple years recovering from that. And then he comes out this year and he's just been guns a-blazing out of the gate and hasn't looked back. Just what do you see from him coming out of the bullpen?
Oh, he's fantastic. I talked to him actually last week for an upcoming feature actually, and he's done what he's here to do. He's here to pitch and do well. He's getting better. And like coming off of Tommy John surgery a year and a half ago, he's a whole new pitcher. And to come back into Lake County after being here in 2014, he comes in, does his work, and he does it extremely well. And somebody who, he's 25 at the low A level, that's not necessarily a good thing, but he does a great job in pitching for this team. And he's another guy. Lynchburg might be a spot for him coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
And like I said, this team's in first place right now. You look at this group of guys. You're going to be watching them throughout the rest of the season. What are your expectations for them moving forward?
They just if they keep playing the way they're playing now, this is a playoff team, and it could be a team that could have a late run into the playoffs, especially with the younger guys that are in Arizona and Mahoning Valley. They could have a home here at the end of the year. And as this team's going to be young, and they're going to have the ability to go out there and win, and they're going to do it every which way. The power's starting to come along with some of these guys, but they'll play small ball. Manso's a big small ball guy. They'll steal bases, they'll bunt, they'll single, double, triple, home run, whatever it takes to win, and they're going to ride that the rest of the year.
All right, well, Tyler, it's been great having you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had a great time here today getting to know some of these guys, and I hope you have too. This is a fun group to watch here in Lake County, and I hope you come visit them and watch them play. I'm looking forward to following guys like Tyler Krieger and Matt Whitehouse, and for that matter, even Tony Mansolino, as he embarks on his managing career. Well, that's going to do it for us here today at Lake County. So, for IBI On Site, I'm Jake Duncan, and we'll see you next time.